Hi, I'm Mike with Cornerstone, and today we're going to be showing you some different options we have for offloading foot ulcers. Foot ulcers are a big problem in our society because they lead to infection, hospitalization, and sometimes even amputation, which severely limits people's mobility. At Cornerstone, we have a lot of different options that we can provide to patients, from a prefab type device all the way up to something more intimately fitting as these custom devices. With any device that we provide, we also have a digital sensor that can actually measure the amount of pressure at the foot ulcer site so we can make sure we're offloading for optimal treatment. So as you can see, once the sensor is on the location of the ulcer, if we put any pressure there, the pressure guardian reads it and reports back. And then we can record this, chart it, graph it, so we can provide a report to the patient and to our wound care docs so they know whether or not the device is actually working to offload the ulcer. Each of our devices has different interface options. We have something as simple as a nice wool. We have a multi-density foam that we can modify to relieve the ulcer. We have more multi-density foam that we can do cutouts to relieve the ulcer. We have ones that are firmer to support but then grind away to provide relief. And we also have ones that are just very, very soft to mold to the patient's foot. This is our solid cage AFO. It's the next generation of Crowboot. We've completely removed the anterior panel so that the skin can breathe and allow the wound site not to become macerated. It has a removable insert which we have ground underneath to offload the ulcer. It's reinforced with carbon so that we get the maximum stability as a Crowboot but without the anterior panel. It's also padded and lined for protection of the skin. The solid cage AFO also has a rocker bottom sole to make sure that when pressure is perceived at the wound, it moves as quickly past the wound site as possible. With any of our offloading devices, the first thing that we do is we mark the location of the wound with some lipstick. So we put some tape over where the wound might be. We take some lipstick and we mark it. What this is intended to do is allow it to transfer to the boot so that we know where we need to modify. Once we have the wound marked, we fit the patient with the boot and we have them stand and put all their weight to transfer the lipstick, and then we have them sit back down. We take the device off, pull them out carefully, and now we can see where the wound is located in the device. Now that we have the location of the wound marked, we're going to grind away that material so that we create the offloading zone. Now that we've modified the foam to offload the ulcer, we need to check how much pressure is at the site when she's walking. So we have a device called the Pressure Guardian, and we're going to attach the sensor to the site of the sore, and then we're going to get her into the boot. Now that we have the sensor positioned on the sore, when she stands up and walks, we can measure how much pressure is actually being put on the sore itself. As you can see, we're getting a maximum pressure of 2.82 pounds per square inch. Now we're at 3.6 pounds per square inch. So that's the maximum pressure that's happening with each step that she takes. There's an average of 0.5 pounds per square inch. Typically with a metatarsal head ulcer, we want to get that pressure under 1.5 pounds per square inch. So with this sensor, even though I took away a lot of material on that foam, I now know that it wasn't enough and I can continue to modify the device until I achieve the level of offloading that I want. Once we've recorded her walking and measured the pressure, we can graph it, and this way we can print a report to show both the patient and the wound care doctor how often and at what peak she's getting pressure. This is a prefab short leg walking boot that's specially designed for diabetic foot ulcers. It has all the features of a standard short leg walking boot to immobilize the ankle and foot to help with the offloading of the ulcer, but it also has a special made insert that we can pull pegs out to further relieve the ulcer site, so when they step on it, they are offloaded. So for our prefab boots, the process is very much the same. We take a little lipstick and we mark the location of the sore. And then we fit them into the boot and mark the location. And we have the patient stand up to transfer the lipstick to the device. And then we have them sit back down, pull them out of the boot. And now we can see where the ulcer is located. So similarly to the one that we grind away, this one is pre-made to have these pegs pulled out so you can create the relief zone for the wound. So we're just double checking that the sensor was working. Now we're going to put them into the boot. So once again, the pressure guardian is recording with each step the maximum amount of pressure and the average pressure overall. This is a classic Crowboot. It's a bivalve AFO design with lining on the inside for protection of the skin and a tri-lam insert for protection of the foot. It provides really good stability for the ankle, and it locks the foot-ankle complex down so that as the patient is walking, it moves pressure past the ulcer as quickly as possible through the use of the rocker bottom sole. This is our wound care shoe system. It's a basic sandal design, so it can be open toe. There's also a closed toe option for those that need it. And it comes with a couple layers of foam that we can configure and cut depending on the depth and location of the wound to maximize offloading. With our wound healing shoe system, the process is pretty much the same. We start by marking the location of the ulcer. And then we transfer that mark to the shoe. Have the patient stand up. Just to put a little weight on it, transfer the marks, go ahead and sit down. And now we can see where the ulcer is located. So I'm transferring the mark from the top foam to all the other layers so we know where to cut out. So the pressure guardian is now reading the maximum peak pressure and the average pressure at the site of the ulcer. And this gives us an indication if we need to modify the device more to increase the offloading. This is a pressure relieving AFO, commonly referred to as a Prefab. It's made of a very soft material to protect brittle diabetic skin, and its main purpose is to offload heels while lying in bed. You can transfer a little bit, but walking's not preferred. It's a universal design, left or right foot, and it's universal size. So you just trim the straps to length. It's got rubber tread on the bottom, but it's designed only for minimal walking, mainly to get to the bathroom and back. And the toe piece can be pulled out if needed for someone who has a shorter foot. No matter the type of foot ulcer, we have a variety of devices to fit each unique individual. Our number one priority is to offload the ulcer, return the person back to their previous level of mobility, and prevent further injury.